Hi, my name's Cordy and it's time to tell the difficult truth. For a while I actually went on this kind of journey. I started off as a volunteer kind of cadet in the bowl world, and I've gradually graduated to the volunteer army of bowl advocates, and for a while I've only been drinking bowl. I've been using it as a complete kind of dietary replacement. It says, you know, it's a nutritionally complete meal, and I'm now currently battling some kind of side effects from bowl. I've got diabolical diarrhea and creating a mess of the toilet bowl, and just thought I'd let you know, maybe hold off on the bowl if that was the way that you were choosing to live your life. So I'm gonna go back to a more normal diet now, I think, and try and recover. On with the video. So in this video I wanted to see if I could try and recreate something to do with the something to create that kind of Lazy J. The Lazy J amps, I guess, kind of popped onto the scene a few years ago, and for a while they were quite a big deal, and I think they still have their supporters now. I don't think they're necessarily like the main choice of amp, maybe because they're super expensive, but like a boutique kind of Tweed Deluxe. And so that's what this amp is. It's a Tweed Deluxe circuit. It's, I think, a 5E3, and the closest thing that we got to that on the Helix is we've got the Fullerton. So you've got the Fullerton Bright, the Fullerton Norm, and the Fullerton Jumped. Those are 5C3 circuits, I believe, and I'll just flash up on the screen now kind of an image of what those differences were. Now, I don't know if Jesse, I think it is at Lazy J, has done other stuff aside from, you know, just cloning the circuit. I think maybe he's got his own mods and stuff that he does, but that's the amp that I've chosen to go with, the Fullerton Normal, for this. So this is the amp that you heard me using in the intro, and here are the settings that I've got. So the Fullerton Normal is the Tweed Deluxe. So we've got the drive on 3. If you experiment with this bright channel, even though we're not on a jump hood model, you can still affect the tone with this drive bright control, but I've got that all the way off. Bass does what bass does. Tone is like a presence type control, I think, so it starts to kind of cut off high end or add high end in. Treble control does what that does. I leave the master at 10 because it's a non-master volume amp, and aside from that, basic settings, I've got a low heft thing here just to kind of move some air. Other videos about that, obviously. Then I'm using the Hot Springs reverb, well set quite high, and the spring count 3 and high drip. I've opened up the high cut a little bit, and the mix I've got at 34%. You'll notice that I've got this before the cab as well, so if we continue on down this path, then I've got the 60s bias trem. Now I find this kind of darkens the tone a little bit, so I'm not sure whether I love this, but you could try using the harmonic tremolo. I believe in the actual Lazy J it's a bias tremolo, but I'm not sure the best way to achieve that kind of thing. But I've got that post reverb but pre-cab, and then the cab that I'm using a dual cab, the 1x12 Bluebell. I think that's one of the key things about the Lazy J is the usage of Celestian blues. So I'm using the Celestian Blue 1x12 Bluebell, a 57 dynamic 1 inch away, and then a few early reflections, and then the same thing again, but 421 dynamic 1 inch away and 20. So those are the settings that you were hearing in that video. If you enjoyed them, you can feel free to check out those settings. And for the boost, I'm using a Scream 808 with the gain at 4.1, tone at 6.5, level at 6.2, and also a deluxe comp at the start. I think it's quite a touch sensitive amp, so you might want to smooth things out a little bit. Also bear in mind that with the drive down at 3, this amp does seem to be kind of wanting to break up a little bit. It's not the cleanest kind of Fender circuit. We're not talking like a super high headroom Fender twin type thing. This is a 15 watt amp, I think, looking at the schematics and stuff, and so it's not exactly like your high headroom stuff. It's more like a Princeton type deal in terms of, you know, you're going to be getting some breakup quite early on. But yeah, hopefully that gets you somewhere in the ballpark. Let me know if you've got ways that you're getting closer. So this is like the Lazy J20 type build. So hopefully that was useful. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll drop this preset into my folder if you did like the way it sounded. I guess it's kind of cool for like bluesy stuff, soulful stuff, maybe like worship if you added some delays and reverbs and stuff. Cheers.